All right, guys, here we are. We live. Let me talk to you. We just got an alert that Romeo Dobbs has returned to practice. Not that that matters at all because he sucks and he has no quarterback. But that being said, we got our week one matchup previews right here, ready to rock and roll. Get this sucker going. We got matchup number one is Joe versus Trey. Trey being the newbie in the league, Joe being a habitual offender at finishing in the middle of the pack who continues to manage his team to finish in the middle of the pack. Now, Joe is known for having a very tough defense. He's tough to penetrate on the defensive front. Joe's opponents usually average about 50 points per game. Now, Trey, I look over, I see Rodgers and Garrett Wilson against Buffalo. Tough matchup. Derrick Henry at New Orleans. Najee Harris against the Niners. They're tough matchups. Starting the Buffalo D against his quarterback and wideout. I don't love it. Don't think that that's a great recipe for fantasy success. On Joe's side of things, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, tough draw at New England. But we did just hear news that Bill Belichick's life is in shambles, just like the Patriots organization. And Bill Belichick, I don't know. I don't want to throw out any terms like pedophile or anything like that. But the truth is we don't know what this guy was into, but we're going to find out soon because apparently the ex-girlfriend is about to blow this sucker up. So on that end, New England, maybe a tough matchup, maybe not. Javonte Williams, absolutely unplayable week one. There's no way he's going to get more than like 12 to 15 looks. I just think Denver's going to run away from it with the Raiders. Why risk it? Miles Sanders is one of the worst starting running backs in the NFL. Hate it. Dalvin Cook against Buffalo, again, not playable. But on Joe's team, he really doesn't have a choice. Personally, I would probably start Brandon Cooks over one of these losers. But I don't know what to tell you. This looks like the lowest scoring game of the week to me. You got two bad teams that are going to score not a lot of points. Trey's not because his team is bad, but because they have bad matchups. Joe just because his team is a dumpster fire. Travis Kelce, come on. Why would the Chiefs play him? If they play Kelce, I'm very afraid of what's going to happen to him. He's probably going to get hurt and be done for the year if they play him. So who's going to win this one? I guess somebody has to win between these two absolute trash heaps. And I'm going to say Trey wins barely because Keenan Allen and the Chargers are going to go ham. Keenan Allen has a big week leading to Trey getting the dub. Trey over Joe week one. Now, we have one Pride Mountain, which sounds like a super gay team name, for Brad, and you getting Mahomes schooled, which is actually a pretty clever team name, for Senior. So already you got to give an edge to Senior for team name and creativeness and not just being a Bud Light drinking homo. So I'm going to give Senior a small nod there. We got Mahomes versus Dak Prescott in the biggest quarterback mismatch that we've ever seen in this league. Justin Jefferson versus CeeDee Lamb, again, mismatch in Senior's favor. D-Hop and Kirk, I don't know. Sky Moore and Mike Williams, I don't know. I actually really like Sky Moore, but I do think this Chargers-Dolphins game is going to be the shootout of the week. Ramondre Stevenson and Christian McCaffrey, both super tough matchups. Saquon Barkley has the ugliest running back schedule I've ever seen. He was a total avoid for me. Brad was super excited to get him. I don't see it. His schedule is just brutal. Defensively, Saints against the Titans, they don't really give up much in the way of turnovers. Philadelphia at New England. Again, New England doesn't really turn it over that much. So, this is a little bit better of a matchup, but I don't see this one being a super high scoring affair either. That being said, who's going to win? Going to give the nod to Senior here. I think Mahomes, Jefferson, Mahomes and Jefferson primarily carry him through to the dub. Plus, Brad gets no credit here because he's supposedly a Lions fan. He doesn't have any Lions on his team. So is he really a fan? I don't know. I think he just likes the one pride thing. So now we got Infinity and Bijan versus Fields of Dreams. Fields of Dreams? Like there's multiple fields in your dreams? What kind of dreams are you having? Maybe One Pride Mountain isn't the gayest team name. Infinity and Bijan. So Bijan Robinson gets a smash spot to open his career against Carolina. Travis Etienne at Indy, another smash spot. Trevor Lawrence at Indy, smash spot. Chris Olave against Tennessee, smash spot. Cooper against Cincy, smash spot. I mean, Washington's D against Arizona. Reese might be the highest scoring team after week one. It's not going to continue. Don't worry. Reese's team always falls apart. But week one, he might be the highest scoring team in the league. On Steve's end, he's got a few questionables already in his lineup in Waddle and McLaurin. Waddle's got an oblique issue that's going to bother him all season long. That's why I traded him to Steve. Steve took the bait, and he's going to be very disappointed as Waddle's going to miss a lot of time this year. Terry McLaurin, turf toe injury. I don't think they're going to need him that much. They might have him out there as a decoy. Don't expect big numbers from Terry McLaurin. Justin Fields struggles against the Packers, and unfortunately, until he shows otherwise, you got to bank on that happening. Eckler's going to have a huge game against the Dolphins. Pollard, really tough spot against the Giants. Don't love it. So, and James Conner is borderline cuttable. He's borderline not rosterable. He's going to suck. It's going to be a really tough year for him. So, who's going to win? Reese is going to win. This one's not even going to be close. Reese, this is my blowout matchup of the week. Reese is just going to beat the ever-living crap out of Steve, and then we will know for sure that it was Steve lying about what happened at the strip club because the fantasy gods are just, and they will serve justice. Now, we have White Sail, which is by far the most racist team name, versus Main Event J. So Jason versus Jared. Man, I'm looking at this. This is the QB matchup of the week. Lamar Jackson versus Joe Burrow, both in smash spots. They could both have huge games. Lamar usually gets off to a fast start. Joe Burrow usually gets off to a slow start. I don't see Burrow getting off to a slow start against Cleveland, though. Tyreek against Adams, going to give the advantage to Tyreek because, again, that's going to be a shootout. It's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. Debo, borderline not playable at Pitt. Ayuk, borderline not playable at Pitt. So that's a wash, whatever. Mike Evans versus Drake London, flip a coin. I don't know. That one's close too. Dameon Pierce versus Rachaad White. Pierce, tough matchup. White, easy matchup. But Pierce is a good running back. White is not a good running back. So we're going to call that one a wash too. Is Jared actually rolling out Jared McKinnon tonight? I think if Kelsey's out, McKinnon's actually a sneaky good play. He could get a lot more work in the receiving game than usual, and that's a valuable role under Pat Mahomes. So I actually like that, not as much as I like Joe Mixon at Cleveland, though. David Njoku against Hawkinson could go either way, flip a coin. Raheem Mostert versus Josh Jacobs. I'm going to give that one to Raheem Mostert. He's going to smash in that game. So who's going to win this thing? I'm going to give the win to the guy that didn't have a first-round pick. I think Jason gets the dub here. Now, on the other last matchup, me against Tony Jr., Josh Allen versus Justin Herbert. Man, that's going to be a battle. I don't know. I like that Allen and Diggs are at the Jets. Tough matchup. Herbert at home against Miami. Easy matchup. I like that. But Diggs and Allen are capable of burning anybody. They are fully capable of having a big week anyway. My man DJ Moore, big first game against the Packers. I think he's going to have some gadget plays. Don't be surprised if he breaks loose a 50 or 60-yard touchdown at some point. Calvin Ridley, hoping maybe it takes him a couple weeks to get acclimated since he hasn't played in an NFL game in almost 2 years. The guy I'm most excited about, though, tonight, Jahmyr Gibbs. This is his coming out party, folks. You're looking at upgraded Christian McCaffrey. That's what Jahmyr Gibbs is. And I'm going to go ahead and say that Jahmyr Gibbs leads me to the promised land. I'm getting this dub. I'm beating Tony. There it is, guys. There's your matchup previews, and I will see you next week for the recap.